Welcome to WOR Season 19, Round 4 for the Las Vegas Grand Prix here in Console Tier 5. We have a grid of 18 today, and I'm joined once again by my co-commentator, Callisto. Say hello to everybody. It's good to be back, and we have hopefully no technology issues or illness issues or anything this week.
It'll be a nice change.
We're not gonna have relaxing. Will be anything but relaxing. Yeah, well, I've got water with me this time, so should be alright.
So we have. Do you want to run us through everything back today?
Yeah, kind of design. So we got Las Vegas 25 lap short qualifying standings as far as Pedro Brechon Jr. is first. We do have right standings this week on 37 points after winning last week. Not winning last week, he won in US and then didn't race last week. Sally Dennis is second after some consistent top 10 performances. Leon Lolpol, who was top after the first round, is down to third now after DNFing in the last round. Two reserves of Brushy Pancake and Dornax in fourth and fifth. Then Diamond Miner in the Aston Martin in sixth after winning last week. Jelma in the Red Bull is P7. CRF1 Easton then in P8. Alex Cineros P9 and reserve Alexis Muhart in 10th. Just after that we got Matthew 11th, Bommel Pro 12th, Enigma 13th, CQ 14th, Morg 15th, Smith 0 in 16th, Suarez 17th, Chopper F1 18th, Kieran 19th and Dagan 20th. Two Williams of Wood and Kane still yet to score a point.
What I find it interesting actually looking at the standings as well is, I think we spoke about this last week, is how consistency is going to be. Salia Dennis having a 5th, 6th and a 3rd. So we've seen him already outscoring Neon, who hasn't won a race this season. So it'll be interesting to see how his consistency is managed across the next 6 races and whether that will help him towards catching Pedro Breton, or whether wins are more vital in this tier. We'll find out.
Yeah, it seems like consistently. Like you look at Sally Dennis the second, he's come 5th, 6th and 3rd, and yet he's still only 4 points off the top. So at the moment, consistency is the key thing.
Yeah, but we've also got to bear in mind Pedro not being here last week. He's back this week, so it'll be much harder for Salia Dennis, who is supposed to be here this week, I do believe. Double check that now. Who needs, if they're not going to be able to win races, they need to capitalise on every time Pedro makes a mistake. Yeah, Salia is supposed to be here this week, so it'll be interesting to see whether the McLaren driver can actually match Pedro this race, or whether the Mercedes has got the upper hand basically heading into the next part of the season.
Yes, at the moment you also got Mercedes lead the constructors standings ahead of Alpine and McLaren, but both Mercedes didn't turn out last week. Obviously, Pedro's back. I don't know if Alex's as well. So they'll look to try and build that lead. There's a penalty points. We got 5 Tropical F1 and Mirage, and 3 for Dornex. So I'm not sure. I can't remember how the rules work with those, but
I was never quite certain myself, but I think it's quite a lot higher than your average, than what F1 is in terms of penalty points, but they're a lot easier to gain. So there's a lot, you can get more, etc. So it's quite difficult though, because if you're getting these sort of penalty points in the first couple of races, you cannot afford to keep making those sort of mistakes throughout the rest of the season. You've got what 10 races, sorry, so you've got 7 rounds left. If you either if you get any sort of qualifying ban or race ban, that will dramatically impact your season and race. So, like Tropical, Mirage, and Dornax have got to be careful because no one else has got penalty points. So, it'd be interesting to see how that affects them and whether that changes their mentality going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We've only got 15 drivers at the moment. Expect a couple more will probably join during qualifying. Either way, we've still got lots of top runners in, along with a couple of reserves, I imagine.
I think what we've got to realise, think as well, is that there's a couple drivers here that have either been here one or haven't been here for a race. It's going to be their first race, and there's going to be one or two have only raced once. They're going to be putting a spanner into the works. We're still finding out which. I know but we're still finding out which drivers are related to each other and little bit like this is of the season. So it'll be interesting to see whether support has any like play different circuits. So we're gonna have to see whether Diamond Miner has the pace that they did during Singapore, or whether that was more due to the high downforce nature of the circuit, and where Vegas is probably mid to low downforce due to that long straight of Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah, you want to keep it low downforce for that whole bit. Otherwise, you just lose so much time everywhere else. I mean, it's a very the DRS's short on this year's game, so there's not as much room for overtaking. And with the battery usage, it's much harder to just constantly burn through every lap and try and pass someone. So they gotta be careful either in qualifying. It's you want to save your battery for the end of that straight, and not run out of deployment on that last run up to the line.
Yeah, the thing is, there's quite a load of backdrop. There's not quite a load of long straights between corners. Like you've got Coal Lane between 4 and 5. You've got Sand Avenue, like 11. You've got the Vegas Boulevard and well, out corners are quite easy. So then, what to worry about down out. Like it's only like where you're gonna need some. So with everything going out right now, it'll be interesting to see who deploys their battery where, because they're not going to deploy it in place. They're very good drivers. They're very so interesting to see what their strategy is for the ERS, or whether they have one.
Yeah, you got the cars out straight away. You got just at the map there. You got an Alpine up front and then followed by Rebel. Obviously there's no slipstream in qualifying at the moment. But again, that he's just to be seen Flavio take out the bollard there on the entry to the strip. You need to still attack the curbs because you can cut so many of them here compared to what you used to be able to. With the higher grip front end, you can properly attack some of the corners in ways you never could before. So once again, it's a matter of taking as much advantage of those as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting some drivers starting to go out on their laps now. Dornax is the first of the drivers to start, and that's very scruffy. Turn 1 and 2, they're getting a very big lock up on entry, so therefore that's already compromised him. Going basically through turn 3 and 4, all the way down to turn 5, not being able to optimise the exit, cuts across the turn 5 apex corner. And now just has to wait until and locks up again that inside left left. So he can't really maximise going through these corners because he's locking up and then understeering straight on. This is where they're losing. The track is not very evolved and it's very fresh. They've got to try and put some rubber down, and they've got to try and make sure they can get a bank lap in that's half decent. Like as long as he keeps this clean, it's something to work on, something to evolve from. Not just as the track evolves, but as you get used to the track. Flavio has retired in set 2.
He looks like he's crashed.
What's happened with him?
Trying to see from perspective of someone else, it's quite hard on me, but it's where you go.
Yep.
I'm not sure what's happened there.
Yeah, I believe that. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, no one else seems to be involved. Well, no one else seemed to be affected by that, I hope. But we're going to continue on now. Dornax, who's just come across the final chicane and is heading straight for the line. That through Top Golf now, turn 17, completely flat to the line. 1 minute 30.6 is what people are going to be chasing on their first runs. We're going to have a Red Bull now of Yelma, I believe. Yep, Yelma coming up to the line. He's got a 31.5 in there. And we're going to start seeing these times go down. Wood off 31.4. Mercedes behind him of someone who's on an outlap. Never mind. Got Aston Martin,
next.
Diamond Miner, I believe.
Yep, coming around the final corner now. Does a 31.0. So Max, he was obviously pretty quick last week but he racked up just a lot of penalties. But he was one of the quicker ones towards the end of the race. So he's got a lot of pace to show if he can keep it clean as Neon goes top in the Alpine. Also, apparently I've heard we don't have lock-up smoke anymore. They apparently fixed that today. So
Yeah. Basically smoke screens for everyone. I'm sure we'll find. It doesn't seem as bad to quite interesting to see as well how spread out the field is at this point. Dawn P2, he's the best. I believe that there's a lot more time for other drivers in there, but it's quite interesting to see that he still remains P2. Have 9 drivers, 5 other drivers yet to settle that. But how long until they might not with a couple drivers actually invalidated right now. Yeah, only Easton is on a lap as we speak.
yeah, he's just coming around towards the strip here. Let's just stay nice and close to both these all same, and always battery takes a wide entry onto the strip here. Now use battery for the first part and likely for the second part as well, but needs to make sure he keeps enough deployment for the final straight. Well, if we look at the telemetry there, he's used a lot of it already. You need to save it for the final straight now. Chooses not to use any at the end of the straight here. Heavy on the brakes. Goes a bit deep through that first corner, but gets away through the second part. Now we'll try and use as much battery as he can. So he's still got over 50%. We just used all his deployment so quickly. He goes up the line, runs out the point just before the line. There's a 31.3 to go 7th fastest. Dornax out for his second outlap now.
Yeah, so we're going to see very different run plans start to form between drivers who are now only setting lap out laps and people who already set laps like who are trying to be a bit who might do another run on those softs, but Dornax, it's hard to say, but how much
He's coming to the end of the strip. Yeah, still got a lot of battery here, Easton, so he's just got a couple of cars out of lap more coming into the pits. Dornax about to start his second lap. So we'll see how he manages for that.
So heading into the Island of Palms area now, one and seemed to block Morg a little bit more controlled through there than he did on his first run. So 3 and 4 now, that's fairly nicely down. To the 6 4 of turn 5. Into their very late braking, cuts across the apex beautifully. There keeps one tyre in the white lines at all times. That's what you got to worry about. You don't need to keep all four in there, just one. Cuts across the curbs as much as they physically can. You can cut as many curbs as you like on this game. They don't really have that effect of cars on before. So he's really taken that to advantage. Go down Sand Avenue through 10 and 11 flat out sequence before turn 12. Uh, and go through there, bounces across that curb. That will cause a bit of problems for the car as he goes onto the boulevard, the strip that we see. Him go be flat out, just complete flat out section now. You've got to use your ERS as well here to make sure you can get to the highest top speed possible. But he keeps half the battery for just the 14, 15, and 16 through there now. Hits that curb, gets a bit of height on the left side, but keeps on going and succeeds to affected throughout the rest of the lap and to the line. Use up all his battery now. Goes fast by 700 a second.
Yeah, Neon's on a lap behind as well. He's 300s up in the first sector. He's going to the strip now. Got Morgan an outlap as well as Alex Ramirez, who's coming towards the middle sector. There's lots of guys out. Darren Miner, winner last week, of course, he's about to start his lap. Brushy Pancakes just started his lap. So still all to play for. We've got the three who haven't done laps yet. So we've got Pedro here coming to the end of his first proper lap. He's going to take up towards the line, looking for ideally low 30 or 31. Goes fourth fastest, just ahead of his teammate, with 30.7. Two Haas cars. Got EXV here coming to the end of his lap. He's run out of the boy quite early, which will cost him time on the road to the line. Still goes 7th fastest with 30.9. Teammate Alexis Mura is just coming towards middle sector here, making his way down the strip. We've got a lot of cars coming up to the line now. Neon's decided to pit, so we'll go for one more lap towards the end, as has Alex and Neres. Down Miner making his way onto the strip now. He's a 10th up in the first sector. He's going to take the initial bit of the straight. As you get towards the DRS detection line, which is there, up to the DRS actual line there. So there's a decent amount of deployment left for the final straight. Morg's gone third, as through the last few corners keeps it nice and steady. A little bit of overtake out the corner, should have just enough deployment to get him up to the line. It's been a decent lap. Well, last week's race runs to the point just at the end, but goes second fastest for a 30.2. Now 3 drivers with a 30.2, half a second ahead of Morg in 4th. And now just
what was I'm just saying is that Morg, we've got quite a big divide now. Morg is like half a second off. Got Neon though, who that is 30.2 was his very first lap. So that was very good for him to note that his time has gone through basically a cycle of second runs now, and it's still quite high up there. So already having a couple of gap over Dornax off at the first runs and the rest of the field. So it's quite interesting to see that Neon is so high up. Somewhat Pedro did a 30.7 no, same with Morg. They did that quite a bit later on than what Alex did on his 30.7. 30.3 now from Morg puts himself a lot closer. Actually, in a 10th of provisional pole. That's a very good lap from Morg and completely silences me on that front. But Pedro in the Mercedes set his lap time quite a bit after what Alex did, his teammate. So track evolution did not really help him out there at all. And I don't think he's got the confidence quite yet in the car around the track.
Yeah, Neon's going for an LRP. He might bail out this one if it's not quick, because he's still got time for another one afterwards, but we'll see what he does. He's got a little bit earlier than somebody's using medium ERS through these
first few corners. Use overtake now onto the straight, try to save some deployment for the final sector, I'd imagine. Down into, if I remember what is turn 5. Takes a lot of curve there, hits the wall slightly, but gets away with a direction, turn 6 and 7 now. He's got a lot of curve there, purple in the first sector. Makes his way through chicane and now onto the approach to the boulevard. One right hander, hugging the wall. And the left one out. Into the sharp braking zone, hits the wall on the outside, but gets a good turn in. Overtake now onto the strip, he's up by 2/10, which is enough for provisional pole at this stage. Purple in the middle sector. Overtake down the strip. He's got just about enough deployment for the final straight. Small little burst of overtake here as he comes into the final 3 corners. Goes very deep there and he's invalidated. But he has got time for another lap. He pits here. He does. But he's got time.
Very unfortunate there from now.
Shows he's got time to find.
Yeah, certainly he does. He had a very good run through the first couple of sectors. Absolutely. One thing I've noticed he's doing very differently to everyone else is that he's burning a lot more through down the strip, and has a lot higher top speed there. But he's probably compromising himself down the final straight. So whatever he's doing is working for him. But at the moment, he sits in P3, and that mistake could cost him provisional pole. So that lap was very, very good.
Anyway, it's Donax on top of the moment. We've got AVX, the first one out. Fought the final laps, it's Wood and Mafia now following him. Interested to see if Diamine can find any more time on his lap, and Morg as well, who managed to find 4/10 out of almost nowhere. If he can find that extra 10th or 10th and a half to snatch provisional pole from Donax, who he's basically just do a similar lap, but how much more has he got in him? The question. We've seen Neon and him have made mistakes in the past with track limits. They gotta push the limits here, but there's lots of areas that can catch you out by going too far over those white lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Got Dornax and Neon who are pushing the limits, and we are seeing them trying to extract every part of that lap. As shown by the top 4's times, so we've seen probably Diamine and Morg. I haven't really stuck on board with them, but those two seem to have found that extra pace that people from P5 downwards haven't quite yet, and it's given quite a massive gap between the field, which we don't really see in WOR tiers. But it's quite interesting to see who's got the confidence around here. AXV Jogo in the Haas now is on a lap. He's the first person to start his final flying run. In through sector 1 now, it's nearly 2/10 up on his own personal best. As we head into the chicane, he has a bit of a rear lock in there and almost has the car snap back out on him through the 7-8 chicane around the MSG sphere. As we go down Sands Avenue, can the Haas get himself back up the order and towards the front of the grid as he head through sector 2 onto through turn 12? A massive rear locking again. He's really struggling with that rear end, as I believe he just has too much rear brake bias, and now needs to focus as we head down towards the 14, 15, 16 chicane at the end of the boulevard. Heading into there now. Wood has retired from the session at the start of the boulevard. Has he crashed on exit there?
Yeah, it looks like he's crashed on the exit of turn 12. I guess he's clipped the wall as he's come out of the corner, but AVX now, AXV coming towards the end of the lap here. He's out of deployment before you make into the last corner. It's still looking like a decent lap here. It's a 30.6 as P5 for now, but the whole field is behind him trying to improve. We got a Red Bull up next of Yelma. He's lost his front wing and is finished.
Easton, meanwhile, had a bit of a spin at turn 12, so therefore his session is now done. As a couple more drivers are coming round to finish
Yeah.
there. That's got a whole gaggle of cars in sector 2.
Yeah,
So
Matthew,
who will take pole?
Matthew up to 10th, ran at deployment quite early on the straight. Trying to see who we got next. It's Easton, who is not improving, so he is out of it. Got an RB at last call. That might be Dornax. It is Dornax, as he looks to improve, overtake all the way up to the line, save himself just a little bit of deployment for that final call. He's every last bit of battery. Comes across the line as a 30.1. That is the benchmark they've got to go after now. There's a whole gaggle of cars. Neon's invalidated again. I'm not sure who can challenge him here. That's across the line. Alexis does not improve. Ferrari in the pits. Red Bull of Enigma stays 9th. Bushy Pancakes retire in the pits. Pedro stays 7th. Down minus stays 2nd. And Morg has invalidated, so who's left? AVX in the lap. So that is the final order. Dornax, in the end, his initial lap would have been good enough.
I mean, at the end of the day, he'll take whatever way he looks at it. It's a very good lap from the RB. Very much pulled out the bag. No one really seemed to have the no one who was looking for provisional pole seemed to get a good final run in, but he did. No matter what, either way, his second run was good enough. So very good job from the RB. Pedro, Alex Linares, AXV just did not seem to quite have that pace to match the top 4. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can match him in the race, whether the quality is set standard for the race.
That's correct. It'll be a lot of defending for Dornax. Obviously, he's going to be ahead, you would think, for the strip, which is very hard to defend you without the RS. So he'll be under a lot of pressure on that one. But for now, he does have the honour of pole position ahead of Dan Minor, Neon in 3rd, Morg 4th, Alex 5th, XV 6th, Pedro 7th, Bush Pancake 8th, 9th is Enigma, 10th Mafio, 11th for Alexis, 12th for Easton, 13th for Jelma, 14th for Itzuda, and then no out time set by Flavio, who crashed out early on. We will be back for the race in a few minutes once we've done lobby restart. So, see you then. Alright, welcome back everybody to round 4 here in Las Vegas, console tier 5. On through the grid order once again. So you can see on the screen there, Dornax on pole, followed by Downman, Neon, Morg, Alex, AXV, Pedro, Brushy Pancake, Enigma, Mafia. We are missing a Williams, but we have gained a Ferrari in Kieran Nack. Woodard unfortunately has internet issues that can't continue, might join late. But we'll have to see on that one.
So the strategy here is probably your average hard, medium, or medium hard, depending on what your preference is. But we're starting to see. It'd be interesting to see whether Dornax stays on those mediums or whether he joins the rest of the people behind him on hards. Safety cars early on will be crucial in that sense for in either direction, because you want the mediums to last longer, or you can use the mediums to last longer, or you can have the hards, or like the hards your runners can stay closer while the mediums are still in their pit region. So it'll be interesting to see whether Dawn stays on those mediums or whether he switches over last minute.
Yeah, I mean, he might be trying to. They'll probably know. He'll know they're probably looking at him, so he'll probably want to try and keep it to himself as long as possible. I mean, he might be committing to the memes. He's still on them. We've got a lot of runners on hard, so pretty much 50-50 splits at the moment. Obviously, it might change once we get to the start. Obviously, we can't see the timer at this stage, so.
That's one thing we need as commentators.
You used to get it, I remember. It used to appear, but I'm not sure what they're doing with it.
Yeah, last game we used to have it, so I know it was last game, it might be the game before, but it made it so much easier because you could time.
Yeah.
Starts.
There's no basically just go on what it is. And I can't adjust any of my things until then, but if Darks is sticking with mediums, then he's taking a big gamble at being able to pull away on lap 1. Otherwise, he's basically stuck with them.
He really needs to get away like early on from Diamond. Like hope Diamond Miner and Neon and Morg start fighting into the first couple of corners, and he just pulls away. As long as he gets that second gap, that 1 second gap, 1.5 second gap, that's what matters. He's out of the RS, so he needs to try and pull away. And hope those lot don't start working together, which is unlikely. They're all racers. They all just want to fight as hard as they can to get P2. But we'll have to wait and see. And hope. And Dornax needs to just get a good start and hope the others get a bad one and start fighting each other into turn 1.
Yeah. So. Wait, start is yeah. Let's see if I can pick up any clues. We've got another Alex has switched to hard, so we'll see what happens there. We might be getting ready for the start. A couple more. Most of the top 10 now on hards, the exception of Dornax and Enigma. And we are now ready for the start. Dornax is on memes. We go to 4, 5 lights on here in Las Vegas, and we are underway. It's a good start by Dornax towards turn 1. Downman not able to go with him at all. Morg's managed to get up the inside of Neon. AXV's managed to get past Pedro as well, behind side by side between Morg and Diamond as they head through turn 2. Diamond just about managing to hold it on the inside. We've got yellow flag on the back. Flavio's gone round again. Diamond has to concede to Morg as Dornax pulls a 6/10 gap out front. Lots of battles down the field. Here we got Alex Muir going alongside Brushy Pancake into turn 5, as well as the Rebel of Enigma getting past Mafia. As here down the inside goes Brushy Pancake on the Haas, but can't find a way through now. Alexis might have a go in. Two Mercedes battling ahead as well, but Dornax has managed to hold the lead ahead of Morg now, but he's only pulled 9/10. He needs that second, otherwise he has no chance of breaking away with the DRS. As the Ferrari Brushy Pancake round the outside there onto the boulevard through turn 12, and now Diamond has dropped to 5th place now. So not a good start at all for him. And Alex and Ares as well ahead, dropped out of a second of Neon.
Simon Mine has now dropped to 6th here. This is an absolute travesty for the Aston Martin as we head to the end of lap 1. Dornax tried to do everything he possibly could to get that 1 second gap, and unfortunately for him, does not manage to do so. That is battling behind as we head down to end lap 1. We've got a Red Bull of Enigma going side by side with Alexis Munja as he goes into P9 to start lap 2, but DRS is now being enabled. Dornax has a pit Sauber right behind him as continuous fights go on between Kieran and Maffio into turn 3 and 4 as the Kieran gets up to P11 there. The DRS enabled straight away, not like 2 laps like last game. We've got 1 lap to try and break those gaps.
Oh!
And Crushy Pancakes is into the has gone into the back of a Haas and is into the barrier. He's got front wing damage. That's a virtual safety car, and everything quietens down just for a second. Yeah, but that is very, very unfortunate for the Haas of AXV.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like he half committed to the move, just locked up and went straight in and taking them both out. AXV unfortunately get involved in that, as he thought he had just enough rear end grip, and he must have caught on oversteer. I'm not sure if he's got damage. Bushy Pancake definitely does have damage, so he's missing most of his front wing, as is Bushy Pancakes. That is unfortunate for them. They should have just about have enough time. Oh no, they don't have enough time. Virtual safety car's over already, so that's completely ruined their races for now, as Dornax has been jumped for P1 by Morg, who, and they've only pulled a 17 gap. The rest of the field's still together. He's none of them managed to break away at all there. So it's Morg in the lead now as they come up to start lap number 3. Dornax trying to get him back quickly. He's going inside into the last corner, does take the place through the last corner, so he will lead the lap. But has he got another virtual safety car?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was very unfortunate for Morgan. Unfortunate timing as well, because Dornax had just got back through, so he has to now stare at that RB's rear wing for a little bit longer. Sauber though had the number on Dornax off the first VSC. Will he do it again? He's right up the gearbox, ready to go if it goes at any point. Dornax just caught napping there and just could not do anything about it. Everyone's now got to recharge their batteries as quickly as possible in order to get as high of a charge ready for the strip later on in the lap. They're going to be coming up to it, and we might get a repeat of what happened with the RB and Sauber again if the VSC stays out long enough.
Yeah, it's a longer one this time, so we'll see how it goes. Try to pick up clues from around the track, but it's quite hard to do so. They come onto the entry to the strip here. That is it there. Both of them have drive-through penalties. They've just come out the pits. Morg now is right behind Dornax. He hasn't been able to break away at all. They managed to pull away a bit from Neon. But here comes Morg now. He will have the DRS. Dornax will know that. They're both using batteries, trying to defend on the outside as they come up towards the end of the straight now. But Morg is comfortably ahead by the time they get into the corner. Neon sat comfortably behind. Alexis gets past Enigma. Cruiser came there. Oh, Enigma in the wall a bit. Looking to get away with damage there. He has got away with it by the looks of it. So Dornax is now down to second, and Morg making up for the loss under the VSC. Around the first corner, Neon might sense his chance now. Dornax seems to be struggling on those medium tyres. Looks like he's low on battery as well.
This is quite interesting for the RB here and for the other drivers around him, actually, because while Neon's trying to go for a move there, he's sensing the mediums are of a vulnerability compared to the hards. They clearly are not as good of a race tyre on that RB as they might presume. It's another yellow flag. That is who's that? That is Alex Munja, actually.
Yeah, looks like he's got any damage. Looks like he's got away with damage though. This is very minor. But the two, Bushy Pancake, AXV, both in the pits. Their drive-throughs probably not very happy with each other at the moment, but they're still stuck together. As Dornax will now try and close up some more again. Look like we had a car going knee straight on there behind one of the Mercedes, but gaps are remaining the same. Enigma's the head of the second trains. We've got the top 6, and then Enigma down to P11 of Eastern. Kieran's managed to get past Enigma, so that's a very good start for him. Up 7 places now, actually 8 places, as Donax trying to look past Neon. Can't do anything there. Mafia has managed to get ahead of Yelma and Enigma. Enigma's down to P10. There's a big slide there from Yelma. He's now going to be under pressure from his teammate on the run up to the line here. Enigma trying to get close enough. It's just too far back the stage. You might have a look up the inside the turn one, has a think about it, but again it's too far back. Securing the big gainer out of that. We're now trying to catch up to the back of Diamond Miner and the main train at the front. As once again the Timotei is now hounding Neon for P3 as they come down into turn 5. Donax seems to have found pace again. In this meantime, we've got a yellow behind. It's Alexis Mura. That's Pedro this time. He's got, look like he's out of lock up. He's lost a couple positions. Mafio's ahead of him, and Diamond Miner's dropped off the train. So it must be. Looks like it might have been an incident between them two. We got a yellow on the main straight as well between AXV and Brushy Pancake again. Both of them look like they've escaped trouble this time though. So now we got the top 4 train and then the rest of the field now. Due to that incident, so Kieran's nags up to 6th place, 9 positions gained, 1 lap. Pedro gets back past Mafio. Expecting a change for the lead here. Kieran Nag now on the Aston Martin of Diamond Miner. Fabio picked up a penalty. Dornax does get ahead of Morg into the braking zone. Kieran Nag's up to 5th place. Dornax is down to 4th. He's gone straight on. He's spun through the corner at the end of the strip, and now he's down to P9. Possibly P10 as Enigma goes through as well. And Easton gets past as well. What happened to Dornax there? He must have just gone straight on, locked his rears, and is now out of the points and first.
Dornax was really struggling with the car in the opening laps. He's clearly set up the car more for qualifying than in the race pace. And it's clearly too unstable. There's an Alpine of CRF when Easton going side by side with Enigma now. There's a bit of contact there mid-corner, but they continue going alongside now. As we go down towards turn 5, as I believe Easton has got the position. Yes, he has. He's sliding between the RBs, the Red Bulls now, and the Alpine is looking to try and get past Yelma, but has dropped back a little bit there. As we go through sector 2 now, he goes a bit wide, and that's going to cost him a bit more time to the pack in front. He's got to be careful not to drop out. So that 1 second window there, and unfortunately for him, he keeps within Yelma's DRS, but Enigma is right close to him. Flaviosa has retired in the pit lane now, the first retirement of the race. Meanwhile, we're going to go now onto the straight. It looks like Neon is under pressure from the Mercedes of Alex Linares as we go down the boulevard. DRS is not needed by the seams of it until now. Alex Linares uses it and steams past the Alpine beforehand. Meanwhile, Pedro's got back past Diamond Miner for P5, and the Aston Martin has to concede. There's no real defence he could make there. As we head now down the main straight, bit of snap there from Pedro. Pedro is really trying to keep up with, keep behind the Ferrari and keep him under pressure. Alex Linares fastest lap of the race as we go across the line to start lap 7. And Pedro sticks behind just a little bit longer, and I believe that is a Aston Martin who's a bit ghosted of Diamond Miner. They continue on. There's no collision. I believe he just desynced slightly there. As we head down the straight towards turn 5, can the Mercedes get through? No, he cannot. He just has to sit behind him for a little bit longer. Kieran has done an absolute fantastic job to manage his ERS, and not only that, manage his way up the field. 11 positions gained in the first 7 laps of the race. It's a very good job. Easton 3-second time penalty now as he's trying to keep up with Yelma. He's dropped out of DRS meanwhile. So everyone in this group is starting to spread out and is trying to push the limits, but unfortunately no one can get past Kieran Nag.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as well. Neon's dropped 1.2 to Alex and Morg. As we've got Easton in the wall.
Easton in the wall.
At the start of the straight, he's just gone straight on into the wall. As you can see from Alexis Mura's point of view there. Safety car, that kills the hard tyre runner's strategy pretty much. That helps Dornax actually. I'll pull the tyres up again here. That helps Dornax, Enigma and Alexis Mura, along with AXV and Brushy Pancake, considering they only did a few laps on their hards. So what do the hard runners do here? I don't know if they can get to the memes. Morg stays out. Neon stays out. Not Neon. Alex stays out. Neon's in the pits. Kieran's in the pits. And Pedro.
So at this point, you've got to really think, because if you're the hard runners going on to the mediums, you've got to either be really conservative on your tyres, which is an immense of immense difficulty in races like this, where you're constantly at such high pace, such high pressure situations that it's going to overcook your tyres. So you're most likely going to have to do another stop onto another set of mediums if they have them. They might not have them. They might have to go back onto their old set of hards. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether Kieran, Nag, Pedro, what they do really, because they started on hards. So, and while yes they got track position over the hard runners of Dornax, Enigma, and Alexis Munja, and I've got the tyre life over more Alex and Mafio. They won't. They're going to have struggle towards the end of the race if they try and extend their medium stint to the end.
Yeah, you imagine as well. The top three are gambling on another safety car, which obviously is likely here with the Chloe Walls. Yeah, you've seen Easton how he makes a mistake just on one of the more simple corners on the track, but there's many more tricky ones where it's very easy to hit the wall. Of how feisty some of these guys are this early in the championship. Imagine there will be more instances. Maybe full stage car. The virtual stage car is more impossible, but interesting to see how Dornax's pace is on those hard tyres compared to mediums. We saw how the mediums struggled early on in the stint, and even then ran out of grip towards the end of him spinning. So Morg leads, but the pace of those new mediums, once they do eventually click, will likely be too much for the hard runners. So Kieran Nag currently in a very good position if he can look after his tyres. He's in a very good spot. But all eyes will be on Dornax, Enigma and Alexis to see where they end up by the end of the stint. As at the back we've got Richie Pancake in the pits. I imagine to go back onto the hards. AXV interestingly decides to stick with his mediums. Ferrari in now. Hard tyres on. He's only done 2 laps on them, so they're pretty much brand new, like the others. So if he can catch up, that puts him back into a good spot again for all the restarts.
Yeah, I think what this safety car has done is brought the AXV and Brushy Pancakes back into the race. A lot of drivers at that point, once they've had a collision like that and had a drive through, a lot of drivers would have given up even this early on in the race. But those two's drive just to keep going, just to see if there's another safety car. Hope there's another safety car. Hope there's something to bring them back in. Has certainly paid off. So those two, despite being at the back now, have an opportunity to bring something out of this race, especially considering you've got 5 medium runners up ahead. AXV, if the safety car comes into that, AXV is going to really struggle. But Brushy Pancakes, if those 5 medium runners up ahead have to pit again, and those 3 hard runners will have to later on, he's going to be in a very good position, a very good comeback from what was pretty much almost race-ending situation points.
Yeah, safety car will probably be in this lap. Brushy Pancake has caught up to the field, so will likely be called any second now. They make their way down the strip. Morg will have a lot to defend against us. Alex and Matthew are obviously quick. Alex was pressuring him throughout the first stint. So safety car will be in this lap. Morg now backs up the field into the last corner. He almost grinded to a halt there. And cool with the tyres. It's a very tricky area to do a restart here. It's only when you get to this straight here. You'll likely want to lead as late as he possibly can. Alex almost alongside him there. Be very careful. He's gone early, actually. He's gone very early. As they make the way to the last corner, he's got a bit of a jump on Alex, which should cover him down to toe 1. How long will it last as we get the race back underway once again?
Morg leads from Alex and Mafio. Mafio all over the back of Alex. Seems to have got his tyres temperature much better on the restart so far. We'll see when the medium runners start to click. Kieran's right behind them as well. He's actually going to have a look at a move on Mafio as they head down towards turn 5. Round the outside goes the Ferrari on Mafio. Can he make it sticky? Morg's going to get pushed into the wall. Mafio just give him a little bang into the wall. Seems to have got away with damage for now. Kieran now up the inside into the chicane and does manage to get ahead. Meanwhile behind, lots of movement as well. Down to P8. Neon in 7th. Neon up to 6th. It's Pedro now all over the back of Matthew, who seems to be dropping like a stone so far on these old hards. Morgan and Alex at the moment seem to be okay as they make their way onto the strip now. Kieran already looking at P2 and Alex. He's right behind him here in the slipstream as they make their way past the Caesars Palace Hotel. And now he's gaining close, uses battery towards the interstate. He might run at Morg as well, who's almost a sitting duck in a straight line. We're going to be 3 wide here towards the end of the strip. Kieran up the inside does take the lead. He goes straight on actually. He's gone straight on at the end of the strip. And all the hard work he's done to come from the back of the grid undone in just a matter of seconds. He got too greedy. So now puts Pedro in the best spot as he's now looking for a move on Mafia, but as is Yelma and Morg there as well. Alex leads. Pedro up the inside into turn 1 on Morg. Can he make the move? Sticky's now round the outside through turn 3 and 4 onto the second straight. Now can he make it a Mercedes 1-2? He has the DRS and he does make it a Mercedes 1-2. So Alex now leading Pedro. Mafio under attack from Yelma as they come through turn 5. Action everywhere around the front here. He's going around the outside into Chicane's contact there. Makes him cut the corner a little bit. Sideways there for Mafio as they come through this tight twisty section. But no doing for Yelma at this stage. Is Neon now getting involved as well?
Yeah, Neon trying to make a move on Yelma as he tries to go around the outside into turn 12. There's nothing he can do there. Here
comes Neon as well on the exit. Gets past after Yelma going to the back of Mafia, costing him a lot of time. As meanwhile at the front, Pedro and the Mercedes comes to pass his teammate. Morg's there as well. Will he try and follow him through? The DRS is activated now. Morg will have the inside line on Pedro. Alex has been left for dust. Side by side into the chicane. Morg has it for now. Matthew's dropped position. Him and Yelma still fighting away. As here comes Pedro now towards the start finish line. Can't find a way around the outside. His teammate right behind him still. He's going to have a look to the outside. Yelma and Dornax now as well behind. Dornax up the inside of Yelma into turn 1. There's new hards finally starting to work a bit as he goes round the outside through turn 3 and 4. But can't quite get alongside as Pedro does get past Morg in the end and leads the race. What would have been a Mercedes 1-2. Alex has dropped a few positions now as Neon's up to 3rd as well. As Alex now has lost multiple positions. He was 1st, he's down to 4th on those old hards and now in desperate need of a safety car.
Yeah, Alex Linares is really starting to struggle here as a lot of all three of those hard runners are starting to do. Pedro, our championship leader, who takes the race lead, but he's on those medium compound tyres. He's going to really struggle towards the end of the race. We've got Dornax up to P7, who's on the strategy that he intended to do in the first place, but Morg has now got to defend from Neon. He's got no DRS. I don't believe he has any DRS either. Neon's going to go flying by in P2, and the Alpine doing an excellent job. Got to try and catch his championship rival. Now he's 10 points behind him heading into this race. He could be a further 7 if it stays like this. As Alpine does not want to give up that as quickly as possible. There's a Haas off. That's AXV off in the down at the end of the boulevard. And now he has to try and get back into the rhythm, and that's Morg round. Morg had a massive snap of oversteer there, and unfortunately for him, he almost lost position to Alex, but he luckily managed to gain enough momentum there. But Sauber is really starting to struggle now. As Alex Linares has a little look to the inside, doesn't make anything of it, and has to sit behind just that little bit longer. Meanwhile, Yelmer is catching them lap after lap, corner after corner, and it's going to get more and more intense and more harder and harder for Morg to keep this position, because not only is the Mercedes hunting him down on the same set of tyres, he's got a number of drivers on newer, fresher tyres chasing him, and as he struggles more and more, these guys will take advantage. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead, Pedro, Neon, our first and third place men in the standings, Zalia Dennis, our second place man, not here tonight. These two looking to maximise, as Neon is going to go down the straight. He's going to have the slipstream, he's going to have the DRS. Both men will be burning their ERS. Unfortunately, Pedro, it seems that he's run out, and Neon has taken the lead here on lap 13 of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Morg has dropped positions to Alex Linares and Yelmer, and he's dropped down to P5. Alex Linares making it a 2-3 for Mercedes. Meanwhile, Yelmer's still fighting with Morg, going down the main straight once more, as the battle for the lead is raging on as well. Yelmer keeps P4 temporarily, and so does Neon, keeping the lead. How much more pressure can Neon sustain against Pedro?
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure here, and here comes Neon. Here comes Pedro, sorry, inside, makes a nice easy work of it, and here comes Yelmer now on the inside of Alex Ramirez. He does make the move into turn 5, picks that behind from Morg. Dornax currently with the fastest lap, sat behind 6, still in a good position on the hards at the moment to make the way through this twisty section. Alexis Mura, picks up a penalty for track limits. First one so far. This Yelmer might drop out of a second to Neon here, and that could leave him vulnerable to Alex Ramirez and Morg. Down the strip, Mafia picks up a penalty as well, and Yelmer is out of a second so far. May he can gain it back before the section line. Doesn't look likely. It's 1.2, 1.3 as they come across. He looks like he's running a higher downforce setup. It's costing him. He's out of battery as well, and here comes Alex Ramirez, comfortably past, followed by Morg and possibly Dornax as well. Yep, Dornax through on the inside, and that is, oh no, he isn't, doesn't matter when you get through. Yelmer just about holds him off, but that is not the straight that Yelmer would have wanted. Here comes Dornax now to try and make quick work of him. There's Sauber pulling off into the pits. That looks like Morg, who has decided to give up on waiting for a safety car. As down the inside goes Dornax on Yelmer into turn 1. There's a little bit of contact, but they get away with it so far. We return 3 and 4 now. Down the straight, he will have DRS. Yelmer is just clinging into DRS of Alex Ramirez ahead. He's dropped out of Pedro's DRS, and Alex obviously needs to make another stop. So now it's pretty much a fight for what will be the final point spot. Oh, Dornax into the back of Yelmer. He's picked up damage and has got a penalty for good measure as well. Just completely locked his brakes into the chicane. Nothing he could do. Yelmer getting away with it by the looks of it. But that will cost Dornax a lot of time, and that penalty is going to hurt him later on in the race.
Yeah, unfortunate for Dornax. He looked like the favourite to win the race if those mediums could not get to the end and those medium runners started to struggle. Now, Alexis Mundra, in the Haas, one of the other hard runners, is now overtaking him for P5, and that Haas is in prime position right now if those 3 medium runners ahead do not get to the end of this race. Meanwhile, Neon. So we've got another 3-second time penalty. That is for Yelmer.
Oh, Ferrari's in the wall. Ferrari's both in the wall. Kieran and Brushy Pancakes making contact at the end of the straight. It's a safety car. That saves Alex. He's past the pit lane already. That's actually not. That doesn't help him at all. If Pedro's already into the queue, so that's wrecked the top 3. So Alex stuck out on his hard tyres now. He's going to lose a load of positions, unless they can somehow manage to find a way to keep the delta on. But that puts everyone else now back onto new mediums. You see,
what happens there? So now will Pedro and Neon pit? They're on 8-lap old tyres. Surely they have no choice, but they'll be at the back of the field if they do. So I think their only option really is to stay out unless they think they have the pace to get back through. But both the Ferraris coming together at the end of the strip in dramatic scenes.
Bridge cannot get more jumbled because by the time these top three appeared, everyone's just a completely different order after this safety car. Because you had a couple of drivers with damage, you had a couple of drivers with one or two drivers with penalties they had to serve, and now everyone it's just completely jumbled. Still, Yelmer will be the leader of the race. Morg is the highest driver that once the top three have pitted will be without pens. But I think if the top two picks, even though they're on mediums, they might decide to risk it and stay out. Like, they're on older mediums, but they're going to lose 10, 11 positions by the time if they pit now. So, is it worth the risk? That's the question.
Yeah, obviously we don't know if they will pit. I mean, that's helped Morg a lot, who was stuck out on those hards. That's boosted him up to what will be, if the top three pit, net P1 due to Mafia and Yelmer's penalties. So if he can get past them, he's in a very good spot. It looks like we have got cars into the pits. We've got two of them. We've got all three are pitting. That's going to really hurt Alex Ramirez, who's going to have to double stack as well behind Pedro for good measure. This gives Neon a big chance to gain some points in the championship here. Well, Neon's pitted as well. He's got. He's had a penalty. So he's also pitted for mediums. And so he's actually at the back. So that puts Pedro still ahead. So that means. Look at the standings here. So there's Smashy Pancake. He will get. He's not left. So Donax now.
Pedro's still lead the standings as at the moment.
Yeah, Donax has the best chance to eat into that gap now.
Actually, never mind. I'm wrong. Yelmer, 14 points back in the standings heading into this race, leads the race. If he gets third, after penalties, he could very much be leading the standings here by a point. If that's if Pedro does not score, which at the moment it's 11th, so he's knocking on the door of points. But at the same time, you can never rule out what could happen in a tier 5 W, or anything can happen. You've got 7-8 laps to sort it out, and a 4 drivers with penalties, Dornax being one of them, Yelmer Mafio and Alexis Munza being the other 3. It could go down to Morg. He's in a prime position right now. Diamond Miner and Enigma also good positions, but they need to get past Alexis Munza to get to Morg and then fight him on track position, really.
Yeah, you do safety car in this lap. Yelmer will control the pace on his new mediums. The oldest one on tyres is AXV and P9, who's got 4 laps, and that's Mafia on 3, Morg on 2, the rest on 1 or 0 at the moment. So see when will Yelmer decide to go for it. They make their way now up to the light. Spiritual sprint to the end from here. So going to be an 8-lap sprint to the end as Yelmer launches us away. Mafia already under pressure from his teammate Morg. Down towards turn 1 as the Haas for Alexis Muir going up the inside of Morg. Big contact there. He's ghosted through the Aston Martin, but he's managed to just about come out ahead. Pedro already up into the points ahead of AXV in 10th place. Now what's happening behind? Here comes Enigma on Diamond Miner. But can't find a way through Darks as well. Looking keen to take action. Kieran Nag goes a little bit wide. Ferrari somehow 8th and 9th despite causing the safety car. AXV down to the back now behind Neon and Alex as Dark still trying to make up some ground here. He knows that penalty is going to hurt him if he can't make up positions here. Mafio pressuring Yelmer for the lead once we get onto the boulevard.
Morg as well will be in a very good spot. The double toe as we come down into turn 12. So we turn to the action at the front. Can Mafio get near to Yelmer? So they make their way down the strip. Morg's actually close to his teammate. He might even choose to let him by. He knows he's on better tyres and has no penalties. No, he's using battery to defend. Morg sits behind for now. He has to think about going past Yelmer. Oh, he's brake checking his teammate slightly. That is also Alexis. We need to get a little bit closer. As Kieran manages to get past Dornax for 7th place. Both with penalties. And here comes Pedro as he attempts to retake some of these positions up the inside of Dornax into the final corner now. Dornax will have the slipstream from the Ferrari ahead, but Pedro will have a look down the inside. He's got more grip on those slightly newer medium tyres. Around the outside into turn 2, Morg's managed to get past Mafio at the front, but Dornax has to slot in behind Pedro. But it's now Morg is the lead. Salva, as they come down into turn 5, the Haas for Lex are trying to get past Mafio, but no doing so far. Down mine, it's still sat in 5th in a comfortable position in case action ahead of me, but Yelmer still in the lead, but Morg with the net race lead because of those penalties.
Yeah, Morg been exactly what he did to get a car, double card between him and Diamond Miner and Enigma. Those penalties will, he knows he just needs to stick behind, do not get a penalty, but he will want to win this on track, but he cannot do it at such high risk. As you're watching the battle further down, there was a lot of movement between Yelmer Morg and Mafio and Alexis Butcher, as literally they were trying to find positioning for the corner, trying to make moves on each other, and it almost became an absolute absolute chaos. Morg though takes the lead away from Yelmer via DRS down the boulevard, and Morg in the Sauber is prime position right now. He didn't need those guys to have penalties, but at the moment he's absolutely shown what he's made of. Yelmer though is going to come back at him for the race lead. Faster that for Morg. Kieran Knight takes that away from him very quickly, but meanwhile Mafio is up the inside into turn 1 as he goes through turn 2, through 3, but he cannot do anything there. He goes for the switchback through 3 and 4, but cannot do anything. He's going to stick behind now the Red Bull as they've both got DRS on the driver ahead, but the Sauber cannot do anything against Yelmer, who had excellent defence there, perfectly lined his car for every single thing Mafio tried to throw at him there and could not do anything. Meanwhile, Alexis Mudra is trying to make a way by on the Sauber, had a bit of a lock up there, having a bit of oversteer on exit as well, and the Haas is right up the back end of Mafio as they go through down Sands Avenue towards the boulevard now. As into turn 12, this has allowed Morg to have a couple tenth extra gap this fight between Mafio and Yelmer, but is that going to be enough? Because there's a long straight, a lot of slipstream, a lot of DRS, but unfortunately for Yelmer, he's not closing in enough. He's got Mafio to deal with, who's a lot closer as he head down the boulevard, and unfortunately Mafio, he has to sit behind once more. Yelmer is right on the back though. There's a lot of red lights flashing at the end of that straight as they all trying to use up as much of their ERS as they possibly can, but there's nothing Yelmer can do down here. Mafio has dropped back a little bit as Alexis is trying to make a move. Kieran and Diamond Miner are starting to close in now. Diamond Miner dropped to P6 there, but has 4 drivers penalties in front of him. Nick was not too far behind. There's another bit of oversteer there from Alexis Butcher, but they can manage to continue on down to turn 5, and everyone sits line astern for a little bit longer.
Yeah, in Pedro's Alex and Neres is dropped back. Is 2.1 away from the train, so they're the ones still trying to work their way forward. Who got caught out by safety car. Neon has managed to get ahead of Pedro in the championship fight, and he'll try and get ahead of his teammate as well. But Alex is starting to catch Enigma, but he's running out of time to try and gain positions. He needs to try and get close because of the penalties ahead. He wants to try and get up to probably P6 if he can, but he needs to be getting closer, and it's going to be hard without the DRS. But these guys along the straight as Morg now, as this time, will have to defend against Yelmer as they make their way down
the boulevard towards the end of the straight. Oh, he's almost sideways into the wall there, Yelmer. But it is enough to get past Morg for now. Pedro gets past Alex Ramirez. Neon ahead as well. So Neon now leads the second train of cars. Dark's at the back of that. As Morg now will be fine. I think we'll be fine sitting here for now. He knows he's not got the penalty. He knows he can afford to sit here and just keep it clean. Doesn't need to take any risks. Oh, it's a big slide from him there as I say that. But he looks like he's just about go over. He goes for a second, but still just about stays in DRS yellow and keeps his teammate behind. The team Mercedes having a big fight through turn 2 and 3 as there's a massive battle going on back here. Neon's there as well. Alex Ramirez has managed to get to head straight. Pedro around the outside of Neon, but Neon just about able to hold him off. Dorlax at the back of that as well. Here comes Pedro. He has to defend from Dorlax sideways there into the chicane, struggling for grip. But in the end, Alex just about comes out on top of that, but they've lost any gap, any chance they had of catching the group ahead now. As we turn back to the front battle, will Morg have another go? His team at Mafia right behind as well. As Diamond Miner picks up a penalty for track limits. Here comes Morg now. Will he try and get Yelmer back down the boulevard here? In the slipstream, flashing light on Yelmer. Morg already only 2/10 behind his team at Mafia as well. Being towed along. Mafia choosing to sit behind, just settling for second place. Playing the team game. Defends as well from Alexis Muir behind. Morg retakes the lead for now. We'll have to see what happens next. Alex Ramirez still behind Neon as Pedro has dropped behind Dorlax, but we'll try and get back past him. Dorlax being very aggressive with his defence, almost putting him in the pit lane there, but in the end Pedro does manage to get into 10th place. Defends into turn 1. Dorlax being very aggressive with Pedro. They're on a title fight, of course. He's still in with a shout at this stage. But at the end, Pedro does enough to stay up. He's dropped out of DRS of his teammate ahead. And that could be the end of his chance at points. Dorlax again trying to fight. But no doing. And they're out of a second now. And that could be the end of Pedro's chance to gain any points on his championship rivals.
Yeah, unfortunately, but Mercedes is not showing quite the pace that he had earlier on in the race. As he's stuck behind Dorlax for the penalty, so he'll gain at least 1 point if he can sit behind him for the next couple of laps. But that's Alexis Mudra has a massive load of oversteer there. That allows Diamond Miner and Kieran Nag to go through for P4 and 5, and that has cost the Haas dearly. Kieran now going to go for a move. They're going to move 3 wide down the boulevard as DRS from the Haas and the Ferrari allows them to get back past the Aston Martin. But Alexis seems to try and get a move there. Down the inside, brakes as late as possible, goes straight on and into the barrier they go. Is that...
He's got away with it for now. Is Enigma on that train? Enigma on that train as well here, and that allows Kieran Nag up to 4th place out of absolutely nowhere. Alex Ramirez has suddenly caught onto this train due to that battling. So they might have a chance of game position here. They will gain some from the penalties now due to the battling. So in the end, Alexis Ramirez's mistake has resulted in them potentially all losing places here, as Morg now still sitting in 2nd place is still in a great spot to take the win. That will put him in the standings. That will give him a big boost up to 31 points, which will put him right near the top, with all the guys at the top scoring few points. But now he just has to keep it nice and clean for the final lap and a half. Alex Ramirez now will look for the battle for what will be net P3 in this race. Diamond Miner might have dropped out of a second though of Kieran Nag ahead. He has dropped out of a second. Unless he can catch it back to the DRS texture point, he cannot. So that gives Enigma a good chance to go up. We got a yellow behind. Squishy Pancakes has spun and he's in the wall again on the exit. He's lost his front wing. As Dorlax now again gets ahead of Pedro as they come into the end of the straight here. Enigma doesn't have enough to get past Diamond Miner, who's dropped way back from Kieran Nag now. Morg has retaken the lead as they come on to the final lap. The gap 4-10 up front. Bridgie Pancakes has crashed on the straight. So into turn 1 now. Diamond Miner just about keeps ahead. But they're not going to gain as many positions as before. But this gives Alex Ramirez a good chance to gain some points here on his championship rivals. If he can keep near the front of his team, they need Diamond Miner to catch up back towards Kieran Nag. They need something to happen up front. But Morg is still doing everything he needs to do to win the race. He's got 4 people with penalties behind, and Enigma can't seem to get close enough to Diamond Miner at this stage. Alex Ramirez is all the way back of him. He's actually made a slide there, and here comes Alex on the X. There was a bit of contact. Alex Ramirez round the outside of Enigma, and Neon follows him through, and that means Alex is now 2.6 seconds behind Kieran Nags. He will end up P4 at this stage, as Kieran Nags actually had a big snap of oversteer onto the boulevard. As now, can he defend from Dynamite? This still matters for position for him by the end of it, but it's Morg who will lead into the final chicane. Can Kieran Nags stay ahead of Diamond Miner? Meanwhile, behind, Alex Ramirez defending from Neon, who tries to go round the outside into the far corner. Neon takes the place. A brilliant move. Alex Ramirez will try and fight back, but can't do anything. As round the final corner, our race winner Morg, who did a brilliant race, did not get any penalties. Yelma takes second on the road from Mafia at the line. Neon, in the end, takes P4 to snatch points away from Alex Ramirez, and quite possibly take the championship lead.
If Pedro finished 9th, I don't know. I think he might have. They will be on the exact same amount of points. I'll have to double check that one, so give me one moment. But if what I saw was correct, they're on the exact same amount on 39, and yes, they both are. As it stands provisionally, Neon and Pedro lead the championship on the exact same amount of points.
Wow, that was a brilliant move from Neon at the end, snatching crucial points from Alex Ramirez. Otherwise, he would have been stuck on 37. But that really heats up the championship fight as well. We've now got Morg, who will be in that fight as well now. He's only 8 points off of them now. Sally Dennis still there on 33. Donax only gained a couple points, but it's still well within a shout. Diamond Miner and Yelma as well. They're up in second place, actually. So Yelma's actually in the lead. He's on 4. Yeah, he's
Yelma's on 41.
Yeah, he's on 41 from that, so he takes the championship lead in the end out of all of that, starting 13th on the grid. But that is your final order there. Morg winning from Yelma and Mafia on the podium. Neon up in 3rd, Alex Ramirez 4th, Enigma 5th, Kieran Nag 6th, Dynamite 7th, Dynamite 8th, sorry, Pedro 9th, AXV taking the final point. Darks 11th, Alexis 12th, Bush Pancake and Easton followed by Flavia, who retired early on. But what a race around the streets of Las Vegas we've just seen, with in the end Yelma taking the championship lead.
That is 2 points covered the top 3 in the standings, and actually, I think it's only 6 points covering the top 4, because Salia Dennis, despite not racing this week, is actually only lost 2 points out in the championship. Well, only lost 2 points to Pedro Breton. Actually, no, sorry, it's 8 points.
Mafio's on 33 as well, because he finished second. No, not second.
He's tight at the top.
Yeah, well, he finished 3rd, so yeah. So he's only 30, so he's only 3 points behind Sliders, only 1 point behind his teammate Morg as well. So it is
what we like.
It's extremely tight. So
I am ready for what's next. What's the next race? Can we go now? This is absolutely.
yeah, I want to go as well. This is unbelievable. So next race we have. I'll put the calendar quickly. Next race we've got is Silverstone, for Great Britain around Silverstone next week. So should be full of good racing action once again. Track that encourages lots of overtaking, lots of, obviously it's a laser scan track this year, so it makes it even better. Then after that we have the Netherlands and Hungary, followed by Christmas break, then returning for round 8, 9 and 10 in January with Canada, Austria and Sao Paulo. But that is going to do it for today after some brilliant racing action. Congrats to Morg for the win, and hope you all have a good rest of your day.